I want to be serious for a minute and talk to you guys about how clinical depression can really ruin your audiophile experience. Hey, folks, I'm Gene Delasalo with Audioholics. Now, I don't normally do these personal videos. As you guys know, this is a home theater based review, publication, and education channel. But I thought this was an important topic to discuss with you guys because it's something that I've struggled with for over a decade. And I'm happy to be on a path of recovery that's actually helped me enjoy music much more now than I've had in quite some time. So for over 10 years, maybe 15 years, I didn't even realize I was suffering from low-level depression. And so I would go out on vacations with the family, and I just wouldn't feel like that joy that I used to feel. In fact, sometimes I'd feel quite numb. And then up until about 6 years ago is when it really hit rock bottom, and I just didn't have any joy left. Like I honestly, I would hug my youngest daughter, and I would like not feel anything. I just felt blank. And as a result, I wasn't even listening to music that much anymore. I mean, I was trying to review the products as best as I could, but I just had like no joy. I felt like I thought I was just burned out. I thought maybe I saw and listened to every product on the market at this point because I've been doing this at then I was doing it for over 15, 20 years. So I'm like, I've seen everything. Like nothing impresses me anymore. But it wasn't until I realized that I felt this emptiness all the time, and especially towards my family, that I needed to do something about it. And I'm going to give you a pre-qualification or a disclaimer here right now. I'm not a medical doctor. I have no medical training. I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm just giving you a quick, brief journey of what I went through. And hopefully if there's anybody that's listening that's had similar issues, maybe this is a wake-up call to you, or maybe you can share your experiences down below on what you went through and how you overcame it. And I realize I'm probably going to open myself up to criticism from people that don't like me on the internet, that are going to use this as an opportunity to exploit me. But you know what? Whatever it is, it is. I honestly think this is a good thing to talk about. So I've tried various different therapies. I've been through psychologists. I went through psychiatrists. And over the last, I would say about 10 years, or no, about 7 years, they put me on different meds to try to help my depression. And unfortunately, some of the meds, they seem to work, but they had really bad side effects. Like, for example, I think I tried Lexapro, and that gave me some pretty bad sexual side effects. And to me, that was like, what's the point of fixing your depression if you can't have intimacy with your spouse or your loved one? So that was kind of a no. That was a no for me. I tried various different kinds of antidepressants, and some of them seemed to work, but they made me extremely dizzy, or they made me fatigued. I also suffer from anxiety. Like I have problems sleeping at night. I'm lucky if I get maybe 5 hours of sleep a night, and usually it's not straight through. So they tried different anti-anxiety meds. And there was one, I think I took a sleep medicine called Ambien once. And I was at a trade show. I wanted to jump out of the window. Like that's how bad I got. I felt like so panicky from it because it didn't help me sleep. It just made me groggy the whole day. And I was like, this is ridiculous. There has to be alternative treatments. Well, then I finally stumbled upon this drug called mirtazapine. And I think my youngest daughter was taking that because she also suffers from clinical depression. And depression runs in our family. And I think I'm more on the low side of bipolar. So I have the depressive side, but not the high side. So mirtazapine seemed to work really well. It actually started making me feel normal again, and I was getting better sleep. But I was on it for about a year, and I started noticing my metabolism slowed down. I gained about 10 or 15 pounds, and I started getting a gut. And you guys know I'm into working out. I'm into staying fit. I could not handle the fact that I was getting fat when I was sitting here working out 3 or 4 times a week. And I had super low energy during the day. And I didn't feel like it was a drug that was helping me in the long term, especially with the weight gain. Now, it didn't affect my daughter in any way like that because she's really young. But for me, that was a no. I couldn't continue that. I could not watch my body get out of shape. My cholesterol jumped up like 20 or 30 points just being on that drug for a year. So then my wife is such a loving person. I can't tell you how incredibly supportive she was during this. She started researching alternative treatments for me. And one of them that came up was called TMS therapy. And I want to share my screen with you guys. And I'm going to show you a picture of me with this magnetic machine here. And this is not snake oil. So this is a real deal here. So I want to just kind of give you a brief overview of what it is. And I'm in no way am I endorsing this as a treatment for everybody. I'm just saying that this worked for me. So it's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. And it's not electroshock treatment. I know someone's down there is going to say, "Oh, you got electroshock treatment like they do on The Simpsons." No, actually, that could cause brain damage, and I will not do that. This is a non-invasive procedure. It uses magnetic fields to stimulate nerve cells in the brain to improve symptoms of depression. So it actually like creates those pathways that may have turned off during depression. It kind of jump starts them or creates new pathways. So you could take a look at this. I'll put a link in the description, but it basically shows you the procedure of how it works. And they're not even 100% sure how TMS therapy works, but it's been around for quite some time. They say it's painless, and I'm going to tell you it's not 100% painless. It feels like someone's tapping on your head pretty hard, and it can cause a headache. And I do suffer from migraines. I usually wake up with migraines. So, I mean, it could cause all this stuff that they're talking about: lightheadedness, tingling, a little bit scalp discomfort, especially when I first started doing it. But sometimes when I would go in there with a headache and I would do the TMS therapy, actually get rid of the headache. So it's a pretty involved procedure. It's super expensive. And the only way that insurance companies will cover it is if you've had at least, I think 2 or 3, I think it's 3. You have to be on 3 long-term SSRIs or antidepressants. And if they fail, then the insurance company considers paying for the treatments. And then there's a copay, of course. But I think it's about 6 weeks of treatments. You do it every day, and it lasts about 30 minutes on the left side. And then if you have anxiety, they do a 15-minute treatment on the right side. So it's about a 45-minute, close to an hour procedure. I had both done because I do suffer anxiety. I'm the type of person, when I go to bed at night, I have racing thoughts in my head, and I think about, the mistakes maybe I've made in life or how I could have done things better. So I live in this kind of constant loop as I go to sleep. So the right side treatment took about 2 weeks for me to start feeling a calmness. And this is me being off the antidepressants. I'm finally clear of all these antidepressants. I haven't taken a drug in, I would say, 2 or 3 months. But getting off the mirtazapine was killer. I mean, I was not in good shape. But the TMS therapy, the first week or so, I didn't notice a huge difference. But after about 2 or 3 weeks, I started feeling more calm. I didn't get as irritable because I was off the antidepressants, and I started having more energy. So I'm done with the treatments now. Today was actually my last treatment, and I was actually missing it. I got used to going there every day. The place I went with, the staff were just awesome. They'd let me put on American Dad. So I'd literally be watching. I went through a couple of seasons of American Dad, getting this treatment. And I could tell you it's been a life changer for me. And I don't think it's over. They say if you go through different cycles of antidepressants, and if they don't work, every new one you try, there's less chance of the next one working. But this had a higher success rate. I think the doctor told me this has like a 70% success rate. And I was skeptical at first, but I read so many people online that had great success with TMS therapy, and I watched YouTube videos on it. And I could tell you it's made a huge change in my life. I'm way calmer now. The one thing I notice is I'm listening to music more now than I've probably done in years. I mean, you guys see on our community tab, I'm always posting pictures of me listening to something on Apple Music or whatever. And that's because I just find so much joy, more joy, listening to music now. And I wish I would have taken this depression thing more seriously, 10, 11 years ago, when I knew something was wrong, but I didn't quite realize I had depression, because my family didn't even understand it. I would tell my mom, or I'd tell my brothers, and they're like, "Oh, just suck it up, go do some more exercise or something." So a lot of people don't fully understand why, if somebody that apparently has everything, a successful job, a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, um, how could you be depressed? Well, you can be, and it's chemical. It's in your brain. There's something wired wrong in your brain, and maybe it's embarrassing to admit it, but yes, I do have clinical depression, and I feel a lot better that I'm getting it treated, and I have the right program here. And the TMS therapy really worked for me. And now I'm just kind of trying to figure out to get my sleep back, between melatonin, and I'm going to do a separate video on edibles, because I found a lot of relief with that, medical grade edibles. Especially for when I'm listening to music. That's another thing that kind of enhances the whole experience for me. And I'm all about, it just kind of reinvigorated my whole passion for this hobby. And that's why I wanted to relate this to you guys, because if there's anybody there that especially in these times with all the craziness that's going on, with the shootings and stuff like that, depression's a real thing. So you should get it treated. If you have a loved one that is suffering from something like this, then try to help them out as best as you can. My path might not be the same path that you follow to fix it, but I'm just telling you guys that since I have addressed it, and I have a plan that has helped me, it's made me really appreciate everything in life more. Audio is obviously a big one, doing what I do here on Audioholics, but enjoying family time, being with people socially. I mean, these kind of things that gave me challenges 4 or 5 years ago are now not that big of a deal. I just handle situations a lot better now than I had in the past. So I hope you guys find this video useful. I know this is not the typical video that I do for Audioholics, but the bottom line is I can't stress to you how much more I'm enjoying music now, and how I'm enjoying getting new products to review, because I feel a lot happier. I feel a lot more at peace with myself. And I hope that this little video that I did will help at least 1 or 2 people that may be in the same situation that I was in. So guys, if you like this video, please share it. Please hit the subscribe button. Please like it, thumb it up. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to me if you want to suggest video topics, or you just want to ask questions. And if you want to know anything about the TMS thing that I went through, I'd be happy to answer it. But until next time, my friends, keep listening and take care of each other.